Hi, my name is Annie and I'm from Pakistan, and my partner Nipunika is from India, and we're doing LGBTQIA plus representation in Asian media. Basically, anyone who identifies as a part of the community don't find themselves represented in Asian media. And we wanted to focus on any aspect of love and relationships in regards to LGBTQI plus through Asian media, and we chose media such as films, television dramas, and books. Anyone from the community does not find any kind of proper representation in media, especially if it's from Asia, as that is still considered a huge taboo. uh, we will examine three major aspects. As in, our hypothesis says that there isn't any major representation, and if there is, the characters are only a part of the supporting cast. And if there is any character from the community, they are represented as very cliched or stereotypical most of the time. And many, if not all, Asian countries don't have any sort of mainstream media representation in regards to characters from the community. Our research questions are basically which identities are dominant in the representation of the community, how queer characters are represented in a certain piece of media, and was it made by a cishet individual or somebody from the community themselves. Basically, we wanted to analyze a lot of content, but due to um, the limitations of time and resources, we shaped the methodology to be more in the form of a critical review. And any review that we talk about here is supplemented by pre existing literature and reviews by critics. We have chosen three types of media, and in turn, one sort of media from every aspect. From the TV show, we have chosen Made in Heaven, which is from India. The film we have chosen is Suk Suk from Hong Kong, and the book we have chosen is If You Could Be Mine from Iran. And for the proper literature review, I am giving the mic to my partner.
So the TV show that we analyzed is Made in Heaven, which is from India. And basically, it's about two best friends, Tara and Karan, who are two wedding planners in Delhi. And the main plot of the show is about showing the elites of the city while they navigate through marriages and a lot of hidden and conservative processes that goes on in the same. So for this show, Karan, who is one of the main characters, is a closeted gay man, and the show sheds light on the secrecy of his sexuality. It sheds light on the kind of persecutions that he faces, whether it's the judgment from his landlord or the fact that he's arrested at the time. The role is played by a cishet actor, and there was no one particularly from the queer community who was involved in making of the series. Then we have Suk Suk from Hong Kong, a very critically acclaimed movie about two closeted gay men who are in their old age. And their sort of this affair is in the backdrop of a very conservative Chinese society and their judgmental families. And this movie was actually directed by a person who is the chief of Hong Kong Lesbian and Gay Film Festival, and he often makes movies and other series about Chinese gay men. If You Could Be Mine is a book from Iran, and it's about a 17-year-old Sahar who is in love with her best friend. But she also realizes that there is a lot of violence that the LGBTQ community faces, especially for their sexuality. But at the same time, she realizes that gender affirmative surgery is legal and accessible in Iran at the time, and she decides that maybe that is the way to go around to fulfill her aspirations of being with her best friend. Now, the writer herself is actually from the community, and she has talked extensively about how the kind of exclusion she faced growing up, and how she wanted to write this to sort of see herself represented in the media that she could not see herself while growing up. So, as for the analysis, we realize there is a lack of media involving LGBTQI individuals available in Asian countries. And specifically, there is really a lack of trans individuals, intersex individuals, people who are ace, aromantic, non binary characters. And mostly we saw there were, say, cis gay men who were dominant in all these media that we saw. Secondly, there is a lack of LGBTQI individuals as the main character of the media. There are a lot of different series, movies, books that do include these characters, but they are mostly side characters or for the development of the main characters. There's also a lack of involvement of the individuals in the media about them. So very few are actors or writers, directors, producer involved in any kind of way in making of that particular media. And in the conclusion, we can see that while there is an increase in the kind of media that is accessible to Asian LGBTQ community, it's not as widespread. It's still very sparse. It's a very slow process, especially because people, the general populace, still, even the laws are still very homophobic and transphobic. And you can see a lot of these representations in independent media, whether it's films, shows, books, especially on social media and the internet, where the censorship is a lot less. So the limitations of our research are also definitely the time limit and the access to the media. All of the media was not accessible to us. Also, to fix a certain goal, we only chose three kinds of medias: one TV show, one film, and one book. And we couldn't obviously cover every Asian country in this research. The scope was narrowed to get a faster result. Another facet was that, as mentioned before, there are series, books, films which have a lot of LGBTQI characters, but they are not the main characters. They are usually the side characters. But for this research, we only chose the main characters. So that's mostly for our research, and these are our references. Thank you.